we're going to be working on the obliques and the sides of the waist today. It's a little bit gentler practice, but still some work involved. And I will tell you in advance, for those of you that usually go with me and do the whole child's pose thing, I've done something to my knee, so my child's pose is not a very good one. So don't model me on that today. I'll talk you through your child's pose, but I won't be doing it very well. So let's go ahead and have a seat, and we'll kind of get centered in and check in and see what's going on in our bodies. So you may sit however you like, as long as you feel like you can have a nice straight spine with relaxed shoulders and a head balanced on top of your spine. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and then just exhale out your mouth and kind of turn inward. So we really want to notice all of the sensations in our body, everything, the things that need attention, the things that need our care, and perhaps the parts of us that need to be challenged and pushed a little bit, all of those. And then begin your deep, slow Ujjayi breath. As you listen to the sound of your breath, you'll notice it's very calming, very soothing. And it gets us to a point where we can easily look at any thought patterns that might be going on in the head, in the mind. We can look at any emotions that might be coming up at the moment. And we can kind of see what our energy is like. And so the reason we check in with all of these and use them to form our intention for practice is if there's anything that you looked at physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically that you would like to change or alter or transform, then you put that as part of your intention. So let's bring palms together in front of the heart. Take a moment, be very clear about your intention. And take an extra deep breath in. And one more time, exhale through the mouth. Good. So if you can, just an easy cross-legged position. We're going to do some super simple side bends first. So the oblique muscles, you can think of those as the sides of the waist. They do a couple of different things. They help us lean sideways, so lateral movement, a lateral flexion of the spine, and they also help us rotate. So those are the two movements that you'll be seeing a lot in your practice today. So you're going to start with your right hand on the ground, and I'll just go ahead and mirror you today. Slide your right hand out a little bit. We're not going crazy just yet. We got the whole practice. So really press your left hip into the ground. Reach your left arm up and overhead. I'm just going to feel into what's going into your lung here. So the more you breathe in, as though you're breathing in all of your air to your left lung, the more you're going to feel your left side stretch. Just kind of keep playing with that. We'll take a couple of breaths. And then as we come up from this, we're going to take this left arm that's in the air and just bring it behind us. Right hand to the left knee, twist, and look over your left shoulder. Then you can just slide that left hand off to the left, slide it out, keep your right glute really connected, reach your right arm up and overhead. It's the same thing here. Feel what's happening on this right side of your torso. Can you pretend you're sending all of the air into your right lung? Kind of experiment, see what you need to do to get the best stretch here. And then this right arm that's up in the air, we're going to bring it around behind us, put the left hand on the right knee, lift the chest, and twist to look over that right shoulder. Rotate back around, roll your shoulders back a couple of times, and then let's transition onto hands and knees. And we're just going to arch around the back a couple of times. Cat-cow stretches like we normally do. And then on your next exhale, backside to heels, forehead down for child's pose. So as I said earlier, I'm not really doing child's pose today. You'll have to forgive me. So you guys are in child's pose. And then we'll scoot forward into Sphinx so that we can elongate the spine a little bit. Make sure that your glutes are relaxed, of course. And then pull the heart forward. Get a little bit of extra length into the low back. And then downward facing dog. Turn your toes under. Push your hips up and back. Feel free to pedal the feet a little bit if you need to. And then find length. Slowly walk your feet forward. Keep your knees bent. Just dangle in your ragdoll for a few breaths. And on your next inhale, reach your arms all the way up and overhead. And as you exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. I'm going to turn and face you guys, and I'll continue to mirror you since I started that way. We'll just roll that way the whole practice. So you're going to just do some rotations and side bends again. These are gentle standing ones. Feet can be about hip distance, whatever makes you feel stable. We're going to inhale and reach the arms up and overhead, touching the palms. As you exhale, rotate to your right. Open your arms out like a T, palms face up. Inhale, come back to the center, touch the palms. Exhale, open out to your left, palms face up. Inhale, back to the center, and as you exhale, lean to your right. So you're doing a side bend. Inhale, back up, and as you exhale, lean to your left, side bend. Inhale, back up. Exhale, sweep your arms out and down, maybe letting your fingertips brush the earth. And then inhale all the way back up. And as you exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. One more time. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, open out to your right. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, open out to your left. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, lean to your right, side bend. Inhale, come back up, and as you exhale, lean to your left. Inhale, back up. As you exhale, sweep your arms all the way out and down. Inhale all the way back up. And as you exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. Then take your feet just a tiny bit wider, so maybe the width of your mat. You're going to put your right hand on your right thigh, reach your left arm up. Now we're going to side bend a little deeper and hold it. So I want you to really reach that left arm up and just start letting your right hand slide down your right thigh. Once you get to the point where you're happy with the stretch you're feeling, see if you can get a little bit more out of it by sending extra air into your left lung. Come all the way back up. Now you're going to put your left hand on your left thigh, reach your right arm up, reach it way up, and start to slide your left hand down your left thigh. When you get as far as you feel like you're comfortable, then you're going to start using your breath to really enhance the stretch on the right side of your torso. Come all the way back up. Roll your shoulders back. Good. And then feet together, hands together. Inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, fold all the way forward to a standing forward bend. Inhale, look up halfway. And then exhale back down. Step back with your left foot. Big step back, Just coming into your lunge. Hold that for a couple of breaths. And then we're going to drop the left knee down. Come up with the hands on top of your right thigh. Tilt your pelvis back, lift the rib cage, let the hips move forward. So you want to find your hip stretch first, and we're going to keep that. And then just the left arm is going to reach up. And you might want to lean back a little, but for sure a wee bit of a lean to your right. So what we're trying to do is really get into that whole left side of the body. If you can, you want to try and find sensation, in this case, from your left knee almost out to your left wrist. Like you should be able to just get everything to open. Take a couple breaths. And then we're going to bring both hands down either side of the right foot. Extend your right leg, flex the ankle and toes, and get a nice hamstring stretch. From here, you can take your right knee back to meet your left knee. Give yourself a tail wag. Those of you doing vinyasas can go ahead and take one. The rest of you take a child's pose. I'm actually going to go through a vinyasa because I can do that today. So if you're in child's pose, you'll stay there for a breath. And then you'll scoot forward into Sphinx and lengthen out. And of course, you may do Cobra. And then we'll all meet up in downward facing dog. Really lengthening out, pressing the hips up and back. And then take a big step forward with your left foot and just hold your lunge for a moment. Drop your right knee down. We're going to bring both hands to the top of the left thigh. Tilt the pelvis. Sink your hips forward. So you're going to find your stretch on the front of the right hip first. And then take just the right arm up. Maybe lean back a little bit, but for sure try a little bit of a bend to the left. So you want to feel the whole right side of your body stretching and opening. And then we're going to bring hands down on either side of the left foot. Extend your left leg. Flex the ankle and toes and pull your heart forward. From here, we'll step forward to our standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up and overhead. And as you exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. And then exhale, back down. You're going to step back with your right foot this time. Come to your lunge. And then drop the right knee down. Bring the arms up and overhead. Tuck your tailbone, sink your hips forward. Go ahead and rotate to your left. Arms are out like a T. And if it feels okay, take this right elbow and just hook it outside the left knee or thigh. Bring your palms together and look over your left shoulder. As you come out of that, put your right hand on the mat. Take the left hand up towards the ceiling and then reach it over your head. And then bring the left hand down inside that left foot. This can be a little challenging. Take your right arm up. Reach your right arm over your head. If you feel like you're going to fall over backwards, you can change the angle of your right foot. And then bring your right hand down. Come onto your right forearm. Maybe the left one as well, where you might use a block. And then just move it back to child's pose. Take a couple of breaths in your child's pose. And then when you're ready, you'll scoot yourself forward into either Sphinx or Cobra. And then downward facing dog. And that's where we'll all meet up, stretching it out, lengthening the spine, which, as you know, will lengthen both sides of the waist as well. And that's what we're shooting for today. Really bringing some attention and awareness and energy to our oblique muscles. Take your right foot forward, up between the hands. And then go ahead and drop your left knee down. This time we're bringing arms up and overhead, tilting the pelvis, allowing the hips to move forward. And then opening out to the right, arms are like a T. If you can, you take your left elbow and you hook it outside your right knee or thigh. Bring your palms together, lift the chest, and look over your right shoulder. As you come out of this, left hand to the mat, right hand to the ceiling. Right arm reaches over your head. So your upper arm is by your ear. Then you're going to bring your right hand down inside your right foot. Take your left hand to the ceiling. And then reach it up and overhead. Bring your left hand down to the mat. See if you can come onto your left forearm. Perhaps the right one as well. Take a couple of breaths. And then go ahead and come back up onto your hands and step forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up and overhead. And as you exhale, palms together in front of the heart. So we're going to turn sideways on the mat. Take a nice, big, wide side step. We're just going to be working with triangle and extended triangle. So we're going to be taking our time here. I want you to make sure that your left foot, and I might as well keep mirroring you, I've been doing it all practice. Your left foot is going to rotate in a full maybe 30 to 40 degrees. So it's slightly pointed towards the midline of your body. This is important. And you're going to keep that left leg straight. Your right foot's going to rotate out so it's parallel to the long sides of the mat. You keep your right leg straight. You're going to kick your left hip out to the left. And then go ahead and extend your right arm out and get some length. And when you do that, you're going to feel the right side of the torso lengthen. You want that. Then you can just let your hand float down and your left hand can float up. You want to maintain that length on the right side of your torso. Maintain your alignment and your straight legs and find where your best stretch is today. We're going to take a few breaths here. I want you to really be mindful of your alignment. All of those little cues, keeping length on the right side of your spine. Now, if you can, on your next exhale, this left hand that's pointing up towards the ceiling, I want you to bring it over your head, parallel to the floor, so your upper arm is by your ear. And you maintain length on the right side of the spine, and you maintain both legs nice and straight. This is a really big side stretch. Take one more breath here. And then just come all the way back up. You can rotate your right foot in. Make sure it rotates in like a full 30 to 40 degrees. So it's definitely at an angle towards the midline of your body. Your left foot is going to rotate out. Both legs are straight. Kick your hips to the right. Left arm reaches, 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 reaches. You feel that length on the left side of the body. You let that hand find your shin or wherever, and you find your way down. Right hand floating up towards the ceiling. Maintaining length on the left side of the spine, maintaining alignment, finding your place. And then when you feel like you've got your best stretch, your right arm is going to come over your head, parallel to the ground. So this is Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle. Should be a really big side stretch. And then come all the way back up. Rotate the feet in. You can kind of walk your feet together. So I want you to feel stable. If you need a little bit of distance between your feet, that's fine. Otherwise, for your deepest stretch, have the feet actually touching. This will be our deepest standing side bend. You're going to reach up and grab your left wrist with your right hand. Pull it up in the air and then literally pull on it until you feel that left shoulder blade lift. And then you're leaning to your right. You keep pulling on your left arm. And you should get a really deep stretch. Breathe extra deep into your left lung. And then come back up and we'll switch. You're going to grab your right wrist with your left hand. Pull on your right arm, not only till it's straight, but until you feel your right shoulder blade lift. And then lean to your left. And then come all the way back up. Release your arms. Roll your shoulders back. So we are going to balance, and you guessed it, we're going to lean. I'm going to give you the option, everything is an option, of course, of doing a leaning tree pose. So in the interest of continuing to mirror, you start on your right foot. Your left foot can come up onto the shin. It can be at the ankle. And by the way, if you need to hang on to something, that's fine. Or you can bring the foot up onto the thigh or the groin. Let's start with our palms together. And then hands are out to the side, palms up. Now, if you can, you're going to take your left forearm and start to bring it towards your left thigh while you reach your right arm up and over and turn this into a leaning tree pose. Take a couple breaths if you can manage it. And then we'll come all the way back up and release. Stand on your left foot. You can bring that right foot up wherever it needs to be. Start with your palms together. Take the hands out to the side. And then if you feel like you can, you start to lean. So you're very slowly bringing this right forearm to the right thigh, reaching the left arm up and over. Trying to find that little bit of a side bend in your tree, leaning tree. And then coming all the way back up and releasing. Good. So back at the front of the mat. Take a big inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, fold forward. Look up halfway and lengthen. And then exhale, back down. I want you to move back onto your hands and knees. You can give yourself a little tail wag if you feel like you need it. And then we're going to come up to kneeling and do locked gait and reverse locked gait. So I'm going to face you. You're going to take your right leg out to the right with your leg very straight and your foot flat. You'll start noticing there's a theme here, obviously. Lots of sides of the waist work. Right hand on right thigh, left arm reaches up, and you just start to slide your hand down your right leg, reaching strongly with that left arm, sending all of your air into your left lung, left rib cage. So Parigasana, this is locked gait. And then we're going to reverse it. So come on up. Your left hand or fingertips are going to find the floor or a block, and your right arm is going to reach up and over. So your upper arm is by your ear. Now, if you really reach through that arm and really press the sole of your right foot on the ground, your whole right side should stretch. Take one more breath. Come all the way back up. And we'll go for the other side. So we're going to take the left leg out to the left. The foot is flat, the leg is straight. The left hand is on the left thigh. The right arm reaches up. You slide your hand down your right leg, left leg. That's what I get from mirroring you. It's your left leg and your right arm is reaching up and overhead. And then we come out of it and we bring the right hand down to the mat or onto a block. Take that left arm up and overhead and really reach through it. Stretch, get your best left side stretch. And then come all the way back up. You can tuck your left knee back underneath you. Give yourself a tail wag. And then take a child's pose. Hold that for a breath or two. After your child's pose, you'll scoot forward into either Sphinx or Cobra. And then from there, we will all meet up in downward facing dog. So from your down dog, go ahead and drop to your knees. We're all going to do a modified, different kind of modified side plank first so that you guys can all figure out what's best for your bodies. I'm going to show you some modifications here. So if you needed to take it easy because of wrists or because of back issues, or if you just don't have a particularly strong core, you could take your left forearm to the mat, swivel over with the knees stacked, and take your right hand to the ceiling. So you can see my hips are off the mat. This is a very, very modified side plank. Take a couple breaths. Everybody do it. It's good for us to know the modifications. And then we'll just rotate back around, hands and knees. And then I want you to do the same thing on the other side. So bring your right forearm across the mat. Keep your knees down, but you're just going to kind of roll and stack your left knee on top of the right and take your left hand to the ceiling. So either of these modifications can stand alone. Let's go ahead and come on out, hands and knees. In other words, you could have your knees down but be on your hand instead of your forearm. Or you could have your forearm down and be on your feet instead of your knees. So you have lots of options, but I'm just going to give you a little bit of side plank stuff to play with, and you just do what's best for you, okay? So for those of you who feel like you can do a full side plank, we're going to go into it from downward facing dog. I want you to do whatever's best in your body. So you're either on all fours preparing for a modified side plank, or you're in downward facing dog preparing for a full one. We're going to be rolling to the left. So if you're using a forearm, put your left forearm on the mat. We're going to stack either the right knee on top of the left knee or the right foot on top of the left foot. Your right hand is going to reach for the ceiling. If you are able, you're going to take your right arm over your head, parallel to the ground, upper arm by the ear, and stretch and breathe, and then come back out of it. So you're either in downward facing dog or hands and knees, whatever works best for you. If you're using your forearm, you're going to come onto your right forearm, and then we're going to roll. We're either going to stack left knee on top of right knee or left foot on top of right foot. You're going to take your left hand up towards the ceiling. And then if you can, you're going to take it over your head, really reaching, getting lots and lots of stretch on the left side of your body. You're breathing, come back down, downward facing dog, and then everybody drop to your knees, wag your tail a moment. So this will be our final flow. Those of you doing child's pose, take child's pose. Those of you doing vinyasas, off you go. If you're in child's pose, go ahead and scoot forward into either Sphinx or Cobra. And then from there, we will all meet up in downward facing dog. Tailbone pressing up and back. Heels pressing down, stretching and lengthening both sides of the spine. And then you may either walk your feet forward, And extend them for Dandasana, or you can just kind of swivel around like I did, whatever works for you. We're coming to the sit bones with the legs extended. Feet are flexed, spine is straight. Just take a couple of breaths here, checking in. It's always good to check in with your body and see how it's responding to what you've done so far. So let's keep right leg straight. You're going to bring your left foot to the inside of the right thigh. And I want you to just lean out over your right leg. And yes, it's a miracle. I'm still mirroring you. I won't do this every class, but you know, just have to challenge myself sometimes. Hopefully I haven't messed it up too bad. So you're leaning out over your right leg. Take another breath or two here. And then wherever your right hand is perfect. Leave it there. Come on up, reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. So you're kind of rolling your chest open. And then I want you to reach your left arm over your head. You'll notice this is a lot like a lot of the other things we've done. You're pushing your left hip into the ground. You're trying to roll the chest open, reaching left arm over your head. So the whole left side of your torso stretching. And then we're going to turn this into a twist as well. So your left arm, I want you to bring that back up and all the way down behind you. Pick your left knee up, and you can either hug it as you twist to the left, or you can bring your right elbow outside of it. So just a nice deep twist. Remember, your oblique muscles do both your lateral movement, like your side bends, and your twisting. Rotate back around. You're going to let that left leg drop open again. Bring your right foot up to meet it. And we're going to do something a little different today. So the heels can be relatively close in or mid-level, not terribly far out. We'll do that version in a moment. But I'm going to have you lift up through your spine and walk your arms forward. Kind of leaning out over your feet and legs. And then walk your hands to the right a couple of steps. You should get a really good stretch on the left side of your torso. And walk your hands in the opposite direction. And stretch. Ugh. My apologies. My cat has decided to mess with the tripod. I am so sorry. Okay. It's just one of those days. Hopefully that looks right. I hope nobody had vertigo or like epileptic seizures or something as a result of that. All right. So I believe now we are on extending the left leg out and keeping the right knee bent, foot to the inside of the thigh. And then lean out over your left leg. Goodness. Take another breath or two here. And then wherever your left hand is, keep it there. Take your right hand up towards the ceiling. So you're kind of rolling your chest open, and then bring your right arm over your head, parallel to the ground, reaching that right hip into the ground so that you feel a huge stretch on the right side of your torso. And then we're going to turn this into a twist, just like we did on the other side. So your right arm is going to come up and behind you, and you're just going to pick your right leg up, either hugging it as you twist or bringing your left elbow outside the right near thigh. You're twisting to look over your right shoulder. And rotate back around. Go ahead and let your right knee drop back open. Bring your left foot up to meet your right foot. But now we're going to extend the legs way out in front of us. Go ahead and just kind of clasp your ankles or feet. Nestle your rib cage down. And then just like we did a moment ago, I want you to just kind of see what it feels like. Extend your arms out. Walk them a step or two to your right. You should feel the left hip as well as the left side of the spine and waist stretch. Now, if you have very supple hips, you may not feel it in your hip. Maybe that's just me. Go ahead and walk your hands around to your left. Stretch a little bit. And then come back to the center and bring your knees up. So we're going to go ahead and grab behind the knees since they're right there. Lift the chest, lean back a little bit, lift your feet up, keep your spine straight, and extend your arms. Now, for most of you, this is going to be absolutely plenty right here, but if you can, you may go ahead and extend your legs. Then I want you to bring your palms together, and you're going to rotate to your right and hold it. Continue to lift your chest. Keep the feet up. And then rotate to your left and do the same thing. Lift the chest. Keep the feet up. Whether your knees are bent or not is fine. Come back to the center. Don't give up. Good. And then you can put your feet down. And you've earned the right to roll onto your back. Hug your knees in. And rock side to side. So from here, we're just going to do a deep twist with a side bend. And I'm giving you that advance warning because if your body doesn't like deep twists, your modification will be to simply keep both knees bent and together and drop them to the right. But for those of you who can twist deeper, I'd like you to take your left thigh tightly over your right thigh. Right foot's in the middle of the mat. You're going to take both knees to the right, so either modified or not. Go ahead and let your left arm open out to the left and turn your head to the left for a moment, just kind of settling into the twist. And then your left arm that's out to the left, preferably with the palm facing up, you're going to start sliding it along the floor until it is up and over your head, back of the hand, hopefully touching the floor. So your left upper arm is by your left ear, and you're in this twist. You should feel the whole left side of your body lengthening and rotating all at the same time. One more breath here. And then go ahead and bring the knees back up. If you had them crossed, keep them crossed. Pick your right foot up. Let's draw 3 big circles in the air with the knees in each direction. And then you can uncross your legs, hug them in, and rock side to side. So if you're modifying, you're just going to drop both bent knees to the left and let your right arm open out to the right. If you're going deeper, left foot flat on the mat, right thigh tightly crosses left. Both knees drop to the left, right arm opens out to the right, head turns to the right. And you pause for a moment to let your body adjust to the twist. And then that right arm just kind of slides up, up, up until it's over your head. So your right upper arm is by your right ear. The whole right side of your body is long and rotated. On your next inhale, bring the legs back up. Keep your knees crossed. Pick the knees up. Let's draw those 3 big circles in the air in each direction with the knees. And then when you're ready, uncross your legs, hug the knees in, and rock side to side. And we're going to do something a little unusual for our inversion. We're going to push our bridge to one side. So even if you barely lift up because of back issues, it's okay. And today, I do want your feet to be hip distance apart, but if you don't want your big toes to touch, you get a free pass. However, you may not let the feet splay. So if you want your feet parallel, that's cool. Let's go ahead and lift the hips up. And then I want you to push them way over to the right. Come back to the center and push them way over to the left. Come back to the center and lower back down. Hug the knees in. And then from here, we're going to put the feet wider than the mat. And knees are bent. I'd like you to just let both knees drop to the left. Just a super gentle outer hip stretch on the right. Once you get your legs over, take your right arm over your head again. And just press the right knee down towards the floor. Don't put your left knee on top. We're just doing this for a second. And then bring the legs back up. Let both knees drop to the right. Let your left arm be over your head along the floor. Press your left knee into the mat. The whole left side stretches. Bring it back up. Hug your knees in. And even though you've mostly focused on your oblique muscles, your hips have had a lot to do with it. So go ahead and grab your feet, happy baby a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and extend the legs all the way out on the mat and do our little banana pose. You guys have done this with me before, but we're really going to work on the side stretch here. So the first thing I want you to do, you're just flat on your back with your legs extended. Take both legs a little to the right. And then I want you to hook your right foot on top of your left ankle. Scoot your hips a little to the left. Reach up and grab your left wrist with your right arm, just like we did when we were in that standing side bend. You're going to kind of pull on your left wrist and you're going to bring your arms a little to the right. So now you're in this nice little banana shape and the whole left side of your body should be stretching. So preferably the left shoulder blade is down on the ground, as is your left hip. So it's really just a very lateral side bend. You don't really want any rotation here. Make sure you're sending all of your air into your left lung. And then release, and we'll reverse that. So you're going to walk both of your feet over to the left bottom corner of your mat. Hook your left foot on top of your right ankle. Move your right rib cage a little to the right. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and start to pull on it, and you're pulling it to the left. So again, you're just trying to get that same kind of side bend, except you're not standing now. So your right rib cage is pressing out to the right. You're pulling on your right wrist. You're in a beautiful little banana shape, and you're sending all of your air to your right lung, right rib cage. And then come back to the center, release, bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a nice squeeze with a little side to side rock. And then go ahead and put your feet on the mat, let the knees drop open, soles of the feet together. Take a deep breath in, flatten your low back, hold that while you breathe, just normal breaths. On your next exhale, release. Let the curve come back into the spine. One more time, inhale, flatten the back. And then release. This time you're going to extend your legs out. Maybe roll the hips in and out a little bit. Make sure your glutes are relaxed. And I want you to really lengthen your spine. So maybe lifting the shoulder blades a little bit, moving them away from the hips, and then lifting the head, moving the head away from the shoulders. Letting your hands come down below the height of the heart, palms facing up. Soften your jaw. Close your eyes. Take a really deep breath in through your nose. And a big exhale through your mouth. So you're allowing your body to relax in the Shavasana. It knows what to do here. It practices this pose every single time. And so you're allowing your body to just soften and relax. And then you let your breath also relax. So it follows the body. The breath becomes very soft. And when everything settles and softens, you have the opportunity to kind of look back inward and see where you're at as a result of your practice. How does your body feel? What about the mind state? What about the emotional state? What about the energetic state? As your breath gets softer and slower and barely even perceptible, you can still feel it. It's a really sweet, gentle little breath right now. And yet you still feel that elasticity of the muscles, the elasticity of the skin. It's very pliable. It's very flexible. It's very adaptable. I'd like you to apply that same principle of elasticity and pliability to your thoughts for a moment. So when we question our thoughts and we question our beliefs, we open ourselves up to possibility. When we refuse to question our own thoughts and our own beliefs, we're stuck, we're inelastic, we are rigid, not pliable. And that turns us into somewhat judgmental, authoritarian, critical people, very often towards ourselves. But if our destiny here is to love each other and to love ourselves, we can't be judges, we can't be critical, we can't be rigid and unquestioning. We have to be compassionately curious about everything. When you have a thought that makes you feel uncomfortable or angry or disappointed or even self-righteous, it's always good to ask yourself, is this true? How do I know this? How did I come to know this? How did I arrive at this thought or belief? Can I be absolutely sure it's true? And then ask yourself the question, who would you be without that thought or belief? So if it's an uncomfortable thought or belief, the answer to who would I be without that belief is usually someone who's a lot happier. So I encourage you for the next couple of minutes to look at what comes into your mind, to question everything, to open yourself to possibility, to open yourself up to the potential to love others and yourself. Slowly start to allow your focus now to spread out into the rest of your body. Feel your muscles, feel your bones, feel your joints, feel your organs. Feel the effects of everything that you did in your practice today. And you can start to deepen your breath. You can start to move the fingers and toes a little bit. Hey. Somebody else has their scissor on. Whoever you are, you might want to mute your microphone. All right, I've got everyone muted. So usually when you sign on, your microphone is automatically muted. It's helpful if you do that because during the recordings, whoever makes noise, if it's a sniff or a sneeze or a dog barking in the background, it'll come out on the recording too. So anyway, so you're definitely out of your introspective phase. That's good. We're about to breathe. We're going to do, some days are just like that. Everything that could possibly happen will. And you just have to have a sense of humor about it. I find the whole thing amusing. Sorry, my cat pulled down the camera. Somebody else's dog is upset. It's always something, right? So as yogis, we learn to just roll with it. And that's the best part of being a yogi. So our breath work today is Kapalabhati breathing. So there are a few reasons that we want to do that. One is that it's an abdominal centered breath, and you've done obliques and abdominal stuff today. The other thing is that it's a very solar breath, and we've got a big full moon coming up this week. And then the third thing that's cool about it is it opens up all of our upper energy centers, which basically means that we can see without illusion. So it makes it easier to question our beliefs. It makes it easier for us to see the truth, or at least be open to possibilities. So this is the breath where you have a really tight contraction of the abdomen and a very passive inhale. So when you squeeze your abdominal muscles, you're going to force air out of your nose. And then when you relax them, the air just comes in. So we're going to do 2 rounds of Kapalabhati today. Just go the speed that's comfortable for you. If you start feeling like you're hyperventilating, stop and breathe normally, and then just come back in when you're ready. In order for this breath to work, you must have length on the front of your abdomen. So if you need to sit on a bolster or a chair or anything else, please do. All through the nose. So here we go. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out completely through your nose. And take another deep breath in. Breathe out half of your air and begin. Big inhale, arms up. Hold your breath for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, float your arms down. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Breathe out half of your air and begin round 2. Big inhale, arms up. Spread your fingers and then exhale, float your arms down. Bringing palms together in front of the heart. Just take a moment in gratitude. Gratitude for your sense of humor. Gratitude for your patience with me and all of my foibles today during class. Gratitude for this practice. Gratitude for our minds. Gratitude for the ability to question the things that we think and the things that we believe. Most importantly, gratitude that we do, in fact, have the capacity to love each other and ourselves. Take one more huge inhale through the nose. Big sigh. Palms to the forehead, just reminding us to stay present, to be in the moment. Palms to the lips, reminding us to speak our truth. And palms to the heart, reminding us to keep our hearts open, wide open, to always be kind, compassionate, and loving, and to definitely be that towards ourselves. Thank you guys so much for today. Namaste.